my testimony and my experience learning about my calling. And also about Elu'hymn. And what I have learned about who is the devil. And who is the one whom is called Satan. Friend, my name is James Matthew. And I am the son of James Ebe Matthew, and the son of Margie Webster. My mother and my father are now deceased. And while I was growing up, I was told by my mother and my father that I was very sick at birth, and according to my mother, I would have most certainly died of my ailment. And this was when I was told this story, how my parents, they both were visited by an angel, and that they were told to call my name Gmze. If not, I would most certainly die. So my mother and father, fearing for my life, did as the angel told them. And today, as I reflect on my childhood, I could vividly remember being very sick and having abnormal temperatures. As my mother would often bathe me in cold water, to try to save me, and to help me and to reduce my high fever. And at that time she would pray over me because she thought that I would die. And it was only when she obeyed the angel, and she began to call me by the name Gmze, that I soon began to thrive. And my health began to improve. And soon after my fever subsided and I was completely healed. And it was some time after that I was told a weird story by my father, whom told me that his youngest brother was drowned while bootlegging liquor and other illicit merchandise between the island of St. Bart's and St. Kitts and St. Martin, back in the 1960s. And that he believed that he was killed or was thrown overboard, probably accidentally, in a quarrel, while he and others were smuggling liquor across the seas. And his body has never been found. And my father wanted to call me after his brother's name, which was Gme, or James Matthew, and he also claimed that he was told to call me Gmze by an angel also. And during those days that I was growing up, everyone called me by the name Gmze. And even today, after many years, my generation still call me by that name. And even my classmates, today still continues to call me by the name Gmze. And during my youth, when I was about 3 years old, I could recall reciting my alphabet, and learning to read and write. And I would often have visions of me flying, as I was been visited by angels. But when I tried to climb out of my crib by myself, that I would fall every time. But even today not one of my bones have been broken. And it was when I would recalled one of my vision, when I appeared in my vision to be surrounded by fire, and it seems that I was somewhere between heaven and hell, and that there was a very large chasm and a very large column or a large pillar that was preventing me from either entering into heaven or into hell. But now looking back on my vision, it seems that I was at the gates of hell. And just when I would most certainly be cast into hell, there were this pillar that was preventing me from entering into hell. And it was when I heard a voice saying to me, James, I'm sending you back. And this vision have never left me up to today. Friend, I was given a second chance, when I was about to be cast into hell. Friend, I was sent back into this world by the Sovereign of Heaven, whose name I now understand is called whom is the Holy One, whom was the Sovereign One, whom even back then sent me back into the world and to my generation. And I could hear the voice of saying to me, you must warn your generation about hell, and tell them about And for many years I thought the voice said me, but it was Needless to say, I was disobedient. And I wanted to make a life for myself. So later on I traveled to the USA, and I was living with my aunt. And I was on a quest to be wealthy. And I started my quest to get my share of the American dream. But I could recall before I left for the USA, that one day while reading the Bible, that spoke to me when the words of a certain Bible verse was miraculously magnified before my very eyes. And it was when I was reading from Luke, chapter 11, and the very last part of the verse 26 was magnified before my eyes. Here is the passage and the verse from Luke, which said this, here is the quote, and the last state of a man shall be worse than the first. Luke 11:24, when the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walked through dry places, seeking rest, and finding none, he says, I will return into my house whence I came out. Luke 11:25, and when he comes back, he then finds it all clean up and swept up and is looking fine and well garnished. Luke 11:26, then he goes back in, and he takes with him 7 other evil spirits more wicked than himself, and they enter in, and dwell there, and the last state of that man is worse than the first. Friend, this was a warning to me, and it was a way of Elu'hymn, reminding me about his warning to me, and to tell me that my venture in the USA would fail, and that I would fall, and that my last state would be worse than my first. Needless to say, I had to learn the hard way. And it wasn't until I fell, and I had a life-threatening wreck in a semi-truck, and that my spirit was ejected from my body, that I realized that we all are both spirit and body, and that we can die if our spirit does not find its way back into our bodies. And it was when I realized that my spirit does have hands and feet and that I could feel and see and hear. And it was some time after that I came to my senses, and I said to myself, what does it profit a man if he lose his soul trying to gain the world by being wealthy? So I returned to St. Kitts, and soon after that I was visited by a holy angel while I was worshipping Elu'hymn. And at that time I was on a quest to learn the sacred name, which I knew to be Elu'hymn, and Elu'yah, and Elu. So I began to call on the name of Elu'hymn, and Elu'yah. And this was when I was visited by the Holy One, the holy emanation of the holy angel, whom called me by my name Gmze. And I was taken back, and I was on my face, and I was awestruck, and I did not dare look up to see Elu'hymn Elu'yah, whom was speaking to me. And at that time the holy name, E, came into my mind. But I did not know that E was the name of the Holy One, and that E was the sovereign of the heavens and the earth whom had sent me back, when I was at the gates of hell, and when I was in the chasm behind the pillar, and when I was surrounded by the flames of hell, when I heard the voice of E, whom gave me a second chance when E sent me back into this world and to my generation to tell them of my experience, and about Elu'hymn Elu'yah, whom is E, and Elu'hymn. Friends, I now understand that E is the name of the Sovereign One, who sent me back. And I am very grateful to Elu'hymn for sending me back, and for his love and mercy and his loving kindness and faithfulness towards me. And some days I would have a flashback, where I would be in the ocean all alone, and I was there in distress in a vast ocean without any hope, and who was about to drown, and who was crying out to Elu'hymn, whom is the sovereign of heaven, to save me. And I now believe that I am James Matthew, whom is Gmze, whom is also called Ge'em, and whom was given a second chance, when E, the sovereign one of heaven, sent me back when I was at the gates of hell. And Elu'hymn sent me back into this world to tell them of my experience and about the Holy One, whom is called E, and Elu'hymn, and Elu'hymn, and Elu'yah, and Amen. Friends, and this is the reason why I'm here on social media sharing the sacred holy name of Elu'hymn, and the name of the Holy Sovereign One, whom is called E, today to my generation, and to testify by telling them that Elu'hymn is real, and that Elu'yah is alive, and that Elu'yahweh is the sovereign of all the heavens and the earth, and that he is E, and that he is the Almighty E, and E also sent me back to warn my generation that hell exists, and that Satan is old God Godriel, whom is the serpent of old, and that Baal is also called the Lord, whom is also called the Lord Jesus, and Judas Jesuit Jesus, and whom is the Antichrist, and whom is the false prophet, and the first son of Joseph, who was a Canaanite when he fathered Simon with his mother Mary, and that they are the evil spirits. And both God and Jesus are like father and son, and both are the evil ones and the sons of perdition. And that they will all soon be revealed by E, at the coming of Elu, the Son, in the end times. Friend, I have also seen the ghost of Noman, whom I suppose is the devil or Satan, whom has lost his skin when he bet his skin, that Eobs, whom is better known as Job in the Bible, would give up his integrity, and that he will curse his sovereign, whom is Elu'hymn. 2. Ease. Face. Friends, Satan has lost the bet, and he was changed, when he lost his body, his covering, his skin. And he became a ghost, or a shadow, an evil spirit. And he became the shadow of death. And that is why many people nowadays cannot see him, because he is now a ghost or shadow and an evil spirit, whom is a fugitive in the earth until Elu'hymn comes back, and at a time when they would be revealed. And then they all would be punished once and for all. Friends, to learn more about how Satan has lost his skin or his body, and became a ghost, and the shadow of death, would you now please visit my message, Satan Wants to Kill Us All. Thank you. Friends, Satan is called the destroyer and the evil one, and also the angel of the bottomless pit. And now, the shadow of death. And that is why he can pass through people or possess them. Even everyone, because he has lost his skin and he is an evil spirit. And he thinks that everyone is his, and in the case of Judas, Satan possessed Judas, whom is notorious for betraying the sovereign, Holy One, whom is called E. And Christ. And E. is the Holy One, whom is the sovereign creator of all. And E. is the creator of all the heavenly hosts. But Jesus is called the Son of God, and the Lord Jesus, and Jesus never said that he was the Holy One whom came down from heaven to save us. But he said that it was his Father, whom we all think is God when it is Elu'hymn. But it is Gog, whom is also called the serpent of old, and whom is called Satan and the fallen watcher, and also the old dragon, who thinks that he can come at any time to tempt us and revile us and make us sick and then kill us, because he thinks we are all his. Friend, you don't have to believe me. But most Christians today would tell you that they are the children of God. But they would never say that they belongs to E. or Elu'hymn, when E. is the sovereign of all, and whom is the Holy One, and the sovereign King of all the heavens and the earth. Luke 12:15, and E. said to them, Take heed and beware of covetousness, because a man's life does not consist of the abundance of the things which he possess. Colossians 1:17, and E. he is before all things, and it is by Elu'hymn that all things consist. Sirach 43:26, and it is by E's words that all things were made and consists, because we were all created by E. And E. is the beginning and also the ending of all things, and only E. has the power to end all things. And E. will also put an end to evil, and Satan and the devil, and all evil things, because only by Elu'hymn is how we all would be saved, or how we would becomes prosperous, and also how we all can attain everlasting peace and everlasting life and true success. Because E. is the creator and maker and the sovereign of all the heavens and the earth and of us all. Friend, if you now believe in the holy sacred name of Elu'hymn and E. would you now please say this simple prayer? Dear Sovereign One, whom is called Elu'hymn, would you please save me? I now believe in your holy sacred name, and that E. the Holy One whom is called Christ, and that E. means one, the Holy One, and that E. is the Sovereign One, whom is the sovereign King of all the heavens and the earth. Thank you, Elu'hymn, for your gift of everlasting life, and for your offer of everlasting life, and the gift of salvation, and everlasting inheritance with you, E. in your holy kingdom. O Elu'hymn, O E. would you please make me yours? Thank you, E Elu'hymn, for saving me. So let it be. Amen. The end.